What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of One for Safety, your podcast where indie filmmakers come together and talk about all things entertainment. My name is Alex Dunn. I'm going to be your host for this one, but as always, I'm joined by my three other co-hosts, Phillip Arroyo Long,
hey,
Leatrice Ching,
hi,
and Victor Moses Navarro.
Yo.
But we're very excited because today we're joined by a guest, and that guest is Clint Brager from Grungy Dumplings. Can I say the Grungy Dumplings, even just to describe it?
Yeah,
Is that okay?
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's fine. No problem.
Okay. From Clint, if you listened a few weeks back, we shouted out his Twitch channel, Grungy Dumplings, where he is and his girlfriend Lindsay do Twitch and usually Twitch Nintendo games. But before I describe it, I'd rather have you tell us a bit more about it. So, I mean, Clint, for our viewers or our listeners, can you just give us like a quick elevator pitch about yourself and Grungy Dumplings?
Yeah, sure. So a quick pitch for you is Lindsay and I. We're a couple. We live in Japan in the countryside, and in our free time, we stream like 3, sometimes 4 times a week. We stream Nintendo games, almost exclusively Nintendo games. So it's sometimes some like hardcore indie games like Cuphead or like Hollow Knight I'm streaming right now.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, we kind of go ham on some like, 90s nostalgia vibes and stuff with like the design elements of our channel and such, and I don't know, we just hang out and have a good time. Like, we don't take it too seriously, I don't think, but we enjoy ourselves.
No, I feel like you can't, right? Like Twitch is just a good place to just kind of go on and be yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Which is really awesome. But we'll get into it more later. I think that's kind of our discussion is we're going to kind of pick your brain a bit about your Twitch channel and just kind of your thoughts just about Twitch and kind of get into kind of open discussion about it. But before we do that, we always have our weekly segments. So how about you start us off, Clint? I mean, I don't know if I'm sure you knew these were coming, but what are you having?
Okay, so I'm having like just the very end drips of like a chai tea latte that I made. There's so little left here. I feel like I probably should have prepared something for this, but I'm like one more sip and it's gone.
No, it's nighttime for us here. What time is it there for you?
It's 1:45-ish in the afternoon. And I've already had my morning coffee, but I didn't want to like be falling asleep on the podcast, so I made myself a tea.
Yeah. Nice.
Nice. And is there like a specific brand, or did you just like?
I actually don't. I don't remember. But I put like a splash of almond milk in there, and I put like a little dash of maple syrup to sweeten it up a bit. Wait, let's see.
Right.
Is it Numi tea? I don't know.
Numi.
There you go.
There you go. That
I actually
Numi
think I might
tea.
have some stuff like that at home.
Some Numi.
Yeah.
It is delicious.
Do you feel like a new you?
Numi. Oh.
Wow.
Should I go? Should I?
we should all go. Everyone leaves.
You're welcome to leave whenever you like. You don't have to put up with us.
Well, that was fun, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, that's it. I'll just be here by myself. Well, that's awesome. I mean, it does sound good. I know a few of us will probably be drinking more alcoholic beverages.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to toss it on to Phillip because I'm kind of curious.
I had a drink in mind. So I've been in Santa Cruz last week painting a mural on a job, and I had a really cool beer and I got a good story behind it, and then my life has been a complete mess today because I've been driving back from Santa Cruz later than expected, and I totally left it in my girlfriend's car. So I'm, hide your homie.
God.
Got
Damn
more
you.
water.
Well, next time.
I'm glad you're hydrated.
So tune in next week to find out what that drink was.
Or if it's just water again.
It's probably gonna be water.
I feel like we should limit the amount of times he drinks water a season.
Just force him.
Moses, you're gonna be the reason Phillip dies. Like Phillip is just. I was told not to drink water anymore,
Yeah.
and oh god.
Just for the recording, I drank all today was water. I cut
Oh,
back
wow.
on. Yeah, I know. I cut back on caffeine.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Good on
I'm
you.
trying to cut back on caffeine.
Well, then what are you having, Moses? Yeah, I probably should.
Well, then I'm glad
Cut
you
back
asked,
on water.
Alex.
Yeah, thanks.
I actually went back to our local Total Wine
No,
in the
without
Dino.
us?
Whoa, where's the invite? We promised we would
Oh.
go.
Sorry.
We were supposed to go and pick each other's beers again. No, you see, this is worse than Phillip drinking
That's
water.
true. Well,
This is
because
horrible.
in my head, I'm like, well, last time we went, Alex got like 12 fucking beers, so I'm sure he's still loaded
Nope.
up.
No, I'm on my last one.
Oh damn! All right.
Bro.
Whoa.
Dang.
Trucking through 'em.
You see what you done,
Well,
Moses.
next time for sure.
Could have
I
topped
know.
up today.
I know. My fault. I'm a bad person. But anyways,
Moving along.
I'm drinking a dark lager called Midnight Expression from Port Brewing Company. So here's the can. The can looks very 80s video game-ish in a way.
Got that synth wave.
I wonder if it's
on
supposed to
it.
be
Yeah,
like.
exactly.
Is it supposed to be like the movie Midnight Express?
I don't know. I don't think so. But Midnight
Does
Expression.
it have a train anywhere on it?
There is no train, but there is. Let's see.
Miss me. I don't
It
want
looks
it.
like the Taj Mahal in the back. I don't know what that is.
Wait, you don't know what it Moses, you don't know what's on the can, or you don't know what the Taj Mahal is?
No.
Both.
I don't know
I
what
definitely know what the Taj Mahal is.
Both of those.
There's like a weird kind of structure in the.
I'm gonna look this shit up while you're
Do
talking
it.
about
Okay.
it. Hold on.
Anyways, I'm gonna open it up and here we go.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
we got a first
open it.
taste.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a new thing, dude.
Oh yeah. So it's actually a dark
Man.
lager. I usually get IPA, so I wanted to see what this one was like. Let's see here.
Okay.
Huh.
Good.
It's
Maybe we shouldn't be doing live tastings.
You're like, this is
No,
a
it's
beer
good, it's
that I
good.
tasted once. Nice.
This is a beer, and I will drink the rest of it. But yeah, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it looks like some dude surfing, and it does look like maybe the Taj Mahal.
Yeah, it's like a Bulbasaur all the way in the back or something.
Why would it be?
Because
I think it's the
because
Taj
it looks like the little bulb that he has.
Yeah,
on his
I
back.
get what you're saying. What the fuck?
Aw.
They're fans of Pokemon
Uh,
and IP theft.
and I do that.
Anyways, it's good. Leatrice, what you got?
I'm having orange.
What?
Oh,
So orange juice. You're drinking orange juice is what you're doing.
Is this a halftime at a soccer game or something? Like, what's going on? Need to hydrate?
No.
Yeah, you get some fucking slices.
Did you leave your beer in the van? What's going on?
Okay, so no, because it's the Lunar New Year today. So then
Oh,
you
man.
know, my fam.
I'm about to feel like a dick.
My-
Yeah, we're
That
all
now.
like immediate oranges. What the hell? Like, with immediately shit on you. You're like, yeah, it's important tradition, but
I just don't
Yeah.
understand where this where did this judgment come from? Like, we had someone having a little bit of chai latte, water, a beer he didn't like, and I'm having oranges.
Yeah.
Don't give me shit.
that's
'Cause
because
it's just-
3 of those are drinks, if
Yeah,
barely.
Literally, Alex said at the very beginning you could be drinking
true.
or eating something. So I was like, oh my god, I feel so much better.
That's because we have a guest, Leatrice. We were trying not to be rude.
Well, if he was eating something, then I would have helped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Tell us about your oranges.
They're really good. So my coworker Emily, she grows these in the back of her house, and she brought them over today for our family, and we do prayer for Lunar New Year, and we usually do prayers with fruits, and oranges are a big part of that. So I'm
Cool.
just eating the
nice.
oranges. They're very good. They're super juicy with that hint. I like oranges that almost taste like little
Oh, hell
tangerines.
dude, mandarins are the
Mandarins.
fucking
Like
best,
cuties?
dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. So this is kind of like that. It has almost the consistency and taste of
Do you
mandarin.
know what kind of orange it is? Did she tell you?
Oh,
It's a backyard orange. That's what it is.
but yeah, that's what I'm having.
Well, Alex,
That's funny.
you've been hiding from us. What are you having?
I've been hiding from just.
Yeah, behind your mic.
Yeah, no. The one last beer I had was I mentioned last week, but is a Stone. It is. Can't read it backwards. It's Self-Righteous Black IPA.
I was gonna get that one too.
Yarm.
It is
Oh,
the first taste of it. I've never had it before, so here we go.
Yarm.
Oh, yay.
That's dope. That's good.
That's
Leatrice,
dope.
I hate it. Leatrice,
Oh
Leatrice,
no.
you would hate it. Yeah, it's an IPA.
It's IPA, like
it's,
really
it's
hoppy.
Stone. It's
Like very
Stone.
hoppy. I don't know
Stone
what
like
that
is like all about the hops.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would. Man, I was thinking about making myself like. So for my birthday, my partner got me this really, really amazing like Dutch drip cold, like slow drip cold brew coffee brewer. And there's a little like local coffee shop up the road where the guy roasts all of his beans in house, like he's a master coffee roaster. And so I get my beans from that guy. I was gonna make myself a cup of coffee before the stream, but I already had a little coffee, and if I have too much caffeine, my brain will like, like just I feel like
That's
it's
what
on
my heart does
fire.
when I have
That's what your heart does. Yeah, I'll just end
Yeah.
up with like, what? You want coffee? Do I want coffee? Yeah. Could you?
Oh
Is that
no,
cool?
it's happening.
Oh, dude.
Lindsay to
It's
the rescue.
happening.
So okay, I don't know if this ever
Thank
happens
you,
to you, but
Lindsay.
like sometimes if I have too much caffeine, I guess we'll see what happens on this podcast. But like I'll just I'll just get really hot and I'll just start laughing tears of joy. I don't know, like it's bizarre, just like streaming down my face. I'll send a picture in the Discord sometime of
No,
when this
if
happened.
I get too much caffeine, I just gotta lie down.
Yeah.
Well, other things that bring us tears of joy is weekly obsessions.
Yeah, someone else start on this one. So I know exactly what I'm getting into.
Yeah, I won't put you on the hot seat in the beginning. So
Thank you.
Phillip, I'm gonna throw Phillip on the hot seat. Tell me, Phillip.
I don't know if I'm allowed to do this one again because it's only been like everybody's at some
You're a
point.
repeat offender, man.
I'm a repeat offender. I'm addicted to Attack on Titan, and I'm like,
You know what?
I've already seen it 3 times before, and I'm watching it again.
You know what? I'll allow it since I started watching it this week. So all right.
Still, even knowing who lives, who dies,
Yeah.
like all those things, knowing those things preemptively doesn't make it easier, and like somehow doesn't make it less surprising when it happens.
Yeah.
I
They
know
do a
it's
good job.
coming.
I think that's why I like it so much. It's pretty depressing. And I like that stuff.
Yeah. I think that I appreciated, like, I've only been through the first 2 seasons of the show. So I'm no spoilers or anything. One of the things that I liked about it is that it does feel like authentically dark, whereas I feel like, so I've had, I live in Japan. We'll get to that. And I've lived here for a few years, and I think you have to be at least a little bit of a weeb to upend your life and move here. So I've seen a decent amount of anime, and one of the things that I noticed about Attack on Titan is that, like, it does feel authentically dark, unlike a lot of anime that relies so heavily on, like, cheap, like, just, like, gore and, like, killing anyone at will. You know, like, I feel like there's a lot more emotional turmoil in it, and I feel like one of the cool influences that Attack on Titan very likely had in its early conception was Neon Genesis, the original Neon Genesis, right?
Yeah.
Because that show is like emotional turmoil, like it's the worst time, but it's great.
Yeah. No, I think that's like totally true. What I've been noticing watching, especially season 1, like it really captures that sense of dread.
Yeah.
And like stuff that like I can really only relate to, like some of the better war films that I've ever watched. Like when you watch like Thin Red Line, like there's those moments of just like genuine dread where you're like, oh my god, they did like such a great job of like capturing this moment that feels so hopeless.
Yeah, the fear feels very real. Like you feel it. Like you always feel like they're in danger, and I think the enemy, like the Titans, feel very like dangerous and scary. Like at least in the first few seasons.
I feel like the abnormal Titans scare the shit out of me. Like when
The fast ones,
Like the ones that just
when
like
they start
run and like
running and-
flop around.
like those are the ones that I'm
Terrifying.
just like, oh my god, I'd be so terrified.
Can I do my weekly obsession?
Yeah.
Wait, I wonder if your weekly obsession is gonna be mine, Leatrice.
Oh my god, it is. It is.
Well, I was
WandaVision.
Okay, I'll do something else then.
Oh, okay.
Go over it.
Yeah. But yeah, I've just been really into WandaVision. Also because I didn't think that anything that Marvel was churning out was gonna keep me entertained after Endgame, because I was like, all right, 13 years of my life done, end of this chapter. But then they decide to do, I know that they have their next phases, a bunch of TV series, and then also the big movie still. So then when I saw WandaVision, I just couldn't wrap my head around what the concept was. But it actually did a really good job so far. I mean, the intrigue was there. Like, they didn't reveal too much, and they had this weird concept that they were building on every episode, revealing just a little bit. And as they revealed more, for some reason, I was really invested in it. I was just thinking, oh, this, because I think I could picture her life with Vision after the fact, like, oh, what if this did happen, and how hard it was, and then the fact that she's supposed to be one of the most powerful beings in the MCU. So then I was like, oh, okay, so is she gonna go super dark, like how they wrote her in the comics, where she just starts murdering a bunch of people? Don't know. But then little Easter eggs that they've laid throughout the whole series so far has been really fun to watch. And I haven't seen the latest episode that was released today, but I'm gonna check it out after.
I mean, I've heard it's like fantastic. Like,
it gets
it's
better.
So good.
Yeah, I've heard it's so good.
It is really.
It's the most daring thing. I would dare say it's the most daring thing they've made so far.
Oh wow!
From Marvel?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, the Marvel thing is like, it's like a machine. Like, everything looks the same. Everything's kind of the same. They don't really take a lot of chances. I think the closest thing was like Infinity War was kind of a chance. I think Ragnarok was kind of a chance.
Oh yeah.
Because they.
that
but
was a
WandaVision
bigger
is
one.
fucking bizarre, but like also just so good.
Yes.
Like, it's just so weird, and like its first few episodes are like doing the whole thing with like the 50s style and then the 60s style, and it kind of being a comedy but then not being a comedy. It's like, it's weird and bizarre and funny, and
Because the first 2 episodes, I couldn't sell it to anyone yet. I was like, oh, it's weird. I have no idea what it's about. I don't think you're missing out on anything just yet. And then as I kept watching, and they're on episode 6 now or something.
They're
like,
at 6
holy shit,
episodes
it changed
already?
my mind.
yeah. It's almost,
Oh man, I'm
it
behind.
Yeah.
It ends in March too, and that's when the next thing comes out.
Yeah, there's only 8 episodes.
When does what is it? Captain America, or is it Falcon and Winter Soldier? That's the next one, right?
Right
Falcon.
after. It's gonna WandaVision's gonna end, and then they're gonna start that one, and it's just gonna keep going. And
The only one I'm looking forward to is
so Marvel is still
the
the
Hawkeye
machine.
show.
Yeah. I remember you mentioning
I'm looking
that.
forward to
Oh,
that
yeah.
one.
That'll be a fun
just
one.
because it's based off of my favorite run of Hawkeye.
Yeah. Oh, I remember when you destroyed your stream. You destroyed your
That's
your,
right.
your internet to show us your picture of. WandaVision's pretty tight.
Nice.
But yeah,
It's
it's
really
a good show.
Moses.
So my obsession is a little thing I watch on YouTube. They're like little documentary snippets called Millennial Money.
What?
It's
what?
like it's called Millennial Money, and it's every episode is about a different person and how they, the amount of money they make in a year, but how they spend it, and how they live their life with the career that they have. So like you'll have people, one person making $60,000 a year, and they describe like, this is what I do, like this is how I make my life work, and like they break it down with a bunch of graphics, like my monthly budget for food is this, and I save money here by getting coupons. But then you'll get like people who are like, I'm 25 and I make $2 million a year, like this is how I do it. And then like on the opposite spectrum, there'll be like a person who is like 35 but makes like $32,000 a year, and how they like live their life. And it's all across the United States. So there are people from like Seattle, New York, Texas, Michigan. And it's actually really interesting, and I like watching it.
Yeah, like they're made by CNBC, and they're called Millennial Money under a playlist called like Make It, is what I'm seeing, right?
Yes. No, that's correct.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
And so are they finding people that are like relatively financially stable in their positions, or is this like looking like a range of like I make 30,000 and I blow it on video games?
So there's situations like that, and then there'll be like situations where people are like struggling in a way. It's just a bunch of different stories because everything's centered around the individual. But like,
that's really cool.
Yeah, they're really cool. I highly recommend it. I watch like 1 million a day. I don't know how many there are a day, but I tend to watch a lot. And it just really speaks to me because I'm at the age where I'm just like, cool, like how am I going to invest my money in like the future and like seeing how other people do it.
GME stonks.
No,
Yeah.
No.
it's over,
It's
dude.
over.
It's all gone.
But yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I'm gonna check those out as soon as we hang up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that leaves
Me? Oh,
yeah. Or
Oh, yeah,
Alex.
No,
I was
Alex
gonna
too.
do another
Alex
one.
too.
That's right.
Oh,
No,
Alex,
go for it.
Dozo, go for it, my friend.
Okay. We can end on you.
I mean,
yeah.
I,
No, it's fine. I'll do it. It's fine. So the other obsession I had besides WandaVision was a game called Control. Control is a game that came out a few years ago. It's for the PS4, but it's a game that I've always wanted to play. I think it came out 2019 or 2020. I forget actually. I think it was 2019. I think it was 19. It kind of flew under the radar. I always thought it looked interesting, but it never like hooked me enough. I had a friend who was like, "Oh, you should try it. It's really fucking cool." And I always would see it on sale, and I'd be like, maybe this time. And I never would do it. Maybe this
that's
time.
such a
And I
mood.
wouldn't.
That's such a mood. Like
Yeah,
seeing like a game on your wish list, and it's like it's only $3.99. Next time.
Did you get it on PlayStation Plus?
Because PlayStation Plus, they're the real homies. It was free this month. So the Ultimate Edition was totally free. So it's basically all the DLC content and the regular game. And I was like, they knew. So I downloaded it and started playing last week. And it's fucking great. Really cinematic, super surreal and weird. It's about like this thing called the Federal Bureau of Control. And like you play as this girl and like who probably has some kind of alien being that's like part of her because of something that happened in her childhood. I don't really know yet. I haven't gotten that far. And yeah, it's almost like something like a David Lynch would have made if he made video games, is the way I kind of think about it.
That's cool.
It's not,
That's really cool.
the style is really, really interesting. And they use live action actors for some things, for some cutscenes, which is really interesting. Yeah. It's a really, really interesting game that I would highly recommend.
You know, I'd never heard about Control until I found this YouTube video talking about why this guy used a CRT monitor to play Control.
I could see that.
And because they do analog upscaling, so it's like actually physically upscaling instead of like pixels and resolution, he just puts it all the way to the lowest resolution that the game will support.
Wow.
And then you can play everything at like ultra settings. And like the refresh rates on them are actually really, really fast.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And so he's like, it's the definitive way to play Control.
I could see that.
Yeah, that's so funny.
It probably fits the vibe probably really well based on stuff that's happening in that game. Right. So Clint, now that you've heard all of ours,
So my weekly obsession, I cannot for the life of me put Hollow Knight down. It's my first time playing Hollow Knight. I cannot put it down. It's like, so I don't know if you guys have ever experienced like a good Metroidvania game, like, you know, exploring like vast 2D worlds and getting power-ups, and so you can, you know, get better, like progress to further deeper parts of this world. And I don't know if you guys know much about Hollow Knight, but it's a world of like Hollow Nest, and it's underground, and it's in the nest of like all of these different bugs, like sentient bugs that have their own.
It's a really beautiful
It's gorgeous.
game.
The music is gorgeous. The art style is beautiful. It's literally one of the best games I've ever played in my life, and
wow.
I also hear it compared to Dark Souls for like difficulty level.
It is. Okay. It is.
I'll say this. I was watching Clint stream the other night, and he was doing this one portion, and he kept dying and dying and dying.
Oh, was it Nosk, the spider like thing that kept on spitting orange goop at me and shit?
No, I think it was like a centipede looking thing.
Yeah.
That was going.
Oh. Yeah. I was trying to do like a big. So, okay, platforming is just not my forte, which is not great for me playing a game like Hollow Knight because it's a platformer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was trying to do like this really I did it, by the way. I did it after you left.
Congrats. Congrats.
Nice.
But yeah, it is incredibly difficult to the degree where like there was a time when I ventured into a part of the world that I was clearly not supposed to be in yet, and I was just getting wrecked. Like I was fucking destroyed everywhere I went, and I was like, fuck this, I can't play this game sucks. and I put it down for a bit, and I was like, okay, I know I like this game, so I should pick it back up and do it again. And I realized, like, I did a quick search on the internet, and I was like, oh, I'm not even supposed to be there yet, and I went somewhere else. And but it's
I kind of love it when games don't hold your hand with stuff like that, and you're like, okay, well, I'm clearly not supposed to be there yet, but like it lets you go there, like, because if you're good enough, you know, you can get through it.
Yeah, it's like the designers are guiding you through it without explicitly doing so. You know, like it's like there is a way that is like a path of least resistance, and then there's all these other ways you can go, right? And the game will very subtly guide you through the path of least resistance to progress you through the game, but you don't have to follow that if you don't want, right? Which is, I think, a really cool thing, right? It's like it's the reason something like Breath of the Wild is so good.
But you know which game does it that it just bugs the living shit out of me a little bit is like Demon Souls.
Yeah.
Or Demon's Souls. Because like they're not only don't tell you, but like there are things that you are so important to that game that they literally like are almost like pinnacle that you're supposed to do, and I didn't realize until I was like 75% done with the game. Yeah, by the way, I love Demon Souls, but I'm just saying it doesn't tell you.
Yeah.
Like fuck, like I needed to know that thing when I began. I would have this would have been better, you know. Yeah, but Breath of the Wild is definitely a great one for sure.
Hollow Knight has been my weekly obsession, as well as like at night, Lindsay and I have been watching a lot of Gravity Falls, the Disney animated show.
Oh, nice.
It's the cutest thing in the world. Like just to like give ourselves a little bit of a break from like the stress of living in a foreign country during a pandemic and all this garbage. We're just like, let's watch Gravity Falls because this is just sweet as candy and like, you know, it just makes us feel good, you know. It's just it's just such a pleasant time, you know. So those are my obsessions, I think, right now.
Yeah, those are both. Hollow Knight's always something I've been wanting to play, so I definitely will check it out. Yeah, but the reason we're here, Grungy Dumplings, Clint. We'd love to talk about it, and again, talk a little bit about Twitch in general. But I guess to start off, I would love to hear a little bit more about the origins of Grungy Dumplings and why did you start it?
So a long time ago, and this will get into the story of why there are 3 dumplings on the original, like on the Discord logo and stuff. A long time ago, my brother and I wanted to do just like a Let's Play YouTube channel for fun. You know, I was watching Let's Players like Markiplier and Game Grumps and like just kind of in my like just having them on in the background and like relaxing, you know, and like listening because you can listen to people like that and it can kind of be like a podcast of sorts.
Sure.
And
I was a PewDiePie guy. Don't hate me, but I was. Oh,
it's cool. I possibly would have been, except I didn't ever watch PewDiePie's stuff until until all the news broke that he was saying terrible stuff.
Sure.
And then I was like, well, I guess I don't have to watch him. Nice.
That's kind of when I dipped out. So.
No, I've never seen any PewDiePie anything.
Sure.
But so I can't hate you. I can hate him because he's an asshole, but like
me too. Yeah.
No, but like I don't know. Me and my brother Austin, my older brother, we wanted to do a Let's Play channel on YouTube, right?
Sure.
And we started recording some stuff. And we never got around to uploading it on YouTube. And then a couple summers ago, the summer of 2019, so before the pandemic, my brother came and visited me in Japan for like 3 months, and he brought over the capture card and was just like, hey, do you just want to like capture some stuff? And the whole time he was here, we captured a bunch of games and a bunch of footage. Like we'd go out and explore Japan during the day. Like, I'd show my brother all the little local spots that are really nice, and we'd go into Nagoya, we'd do all this stuff. Then we'd come back at night, and we'd game capture games. And I started uploading all of these videos to a YouTube channel, to the Grungy Dumplings YouTube channel. And it didn't go literally anywhere. That like if you look at YouTube, it's so completely. If you wanted to get into the Let's Play thing on YouTube, you needed to start in like 2009. And then Lindsay and I point behind me because she's hanging out behind in the other room playing Breath of the Wild. She and I started dating, and because she moved coincidentally to the same little tiny countryside town that I live in. We're like the only two foreigners here, and we were like, I was like, you know what, I kind of want to keep uploading things to YouTube. So we started game capturing on our own. I asked Austin, I was like, hey, is it cool if me and Lindsay continue doing this? And he's like, yeah, no big deal. Started game capturing stuff. We started game capturing Animal Crossing New Horizons, all this stuff, like playing games, uploading it on YouTube for fun. Then one night out of nowhere, I realized on the game capture software that there was a button for live streaming, and I was like, do you just want to try this? Like like we'll just make a Twitch and we'll just try to live stream or something.
Sure.
And we did, and you know, that was about 7 months ago, I think. We started doing it about 7 months ago, and today, this morning, we hit 300 followers, and so we're feeling pretty good about that.
Nice.
I know a lot of people grow.
Small clap.
A lot of streamers grow like super quick, and I don't know how they do it. They'll grow like, oh, I've been streaming for 2 months and I'm at 1,000 followers. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. I don't know how you did it, but like, I'm pretty happy with our current group of fans. They're pretty dedicated fans, I think.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like right at the beginning of the pandemic, then, like almost, right?
Yeah. It was the summer before, so it was probably like 5 months before the pandemic that me and my brother started recording, because the pandemic started. So he came here in like July, August, and September, and then
Oh, that would have been when I was there.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where did you go?
I went. So one of my best friends was studying abroad in just outside Tokyo,
Okay.
and so I went to visit, and then I spent like another week and a half just
roaming.
kind of fucking around. Yeah, I bought a JR Rail pass and just kind of went.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Me and my brother did a similar thing where like we came here for like 3 weeks, and we just had a JR Rail pass, and we went from Tokyo down to Hiroshima, and we just kind of explored all these random little places. And then I was like, you know what?
What part of Japan are you in?
Central Japan. So I'm in a prefecture called Gifu Prefecture. Not to dox myself, Gifu's pretty big. And I live like 40 minutes outside of Nagoya City, which is like one of the, I think it's like the third or fourth biggest city in Japan.
It's so beautiful.
It is gorgeous. My buddy, actually, a buddy of mine that works here on the same like program that I'm on, went up to Hida Furukawa and tried to match all of like the establishing shots from Your Name. He found all those locations and tried to. Wow. You did the same thing. You did the exact same thing.
Oh yeah, it's actually really adorable because it's like this town in like, you know, the middle of Japan that like I guess at the time was like, so they don't even have a movie theater there. So like when the film came out, they actually had to set up a special like screening so that the people in the city could see it. But like they have a little map printed for tourists. They're like, this is a map of like all the places that you can go around and like take your pictures. Wow. And then the best one is at the train station. They have a little sign right next to where you would take that picture, and it has actually like a little thing that gives you all the times of that specific color train when it comes by, so you can get that exact picture.
Wow,
this has become a tourist episode.
So we've obviously talked a lot about Japan just now.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming, is Grungy Dumplings, is that because of your time in Japan? Is that kind of spawned from? Is it part of your name? Identity? Yeah. Is it the dumplings part of it, or not? Is it actually something that kind of came before?
Okay.
He rubs his face. I think it's
Yeah.
So
No,
okay,
that's just
here's
the coffee.
the thing.
The coffee's kicking in. That's all.
This is it. Yeah, just wait for the tears. Why'd you ask me about this? No, the thing about the like Grungy Dumplings, the name is it's like 100% random. So
That's
I
fine.
wish that there was a meaning behind it, but what happened was like when my brother was visiting in the 3 months that he was here, a couple summers ago, and we were recording. We hadn't even set up the YouTube channel yet, and we hadn't set up the name. We hadn't done anything yet. And we were racking our brain, like, what should the YouTube channel name be? Like, what should it, like, what brand should we try to be, like, building a brand, building an image, and all this stuff.
Sure.
And it was like 2 a.m. We were crashing, we were falling asleep, and I was trying to think of names. I was like half asleep, like the type of half asleep to where like thoughts that are going through your mind feel like they make sense.
That's where genius strikes.
And I was trying to think of something that rhymes with ugly ducklings, and I came up with Grungy Dumplings, which doesn't even rhyme.
It's close.
And
I want to believe you guys were listening to like Pearl Jam and eating dumplings at the same time.
Yeah.
Dude, no, we were like 4 strong zeros in, and
Oh god.
no, it's literally that's where the name came from.
Okay.
And then when we started, like when Lindsay and I started doing the streaming, that's when we started kind of building the brand of it a little bit more, the image of it, with like going ham on like the 90s patterns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All of our emotes on our Twitch page, like Lindsay does on her iPad, she makes them on Procreate and stuff, and like making like these cute little dumpling like emotes and stuff for Twitch, and I guess like it grew into like an image and we could make merch if we wanted to, because I feel like we've sort of turned it into more of a brand than I ever thought it was going to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You should do it.
I mean, there are like really easy ways to like easy companies that you can just like sign up and like make coffee mugs and t-shirts and shit. But like, I don't know, we don't make that much money. We make very, very little money off Twitch. So like, we don't want to, I'm poor, student loans, all that shit. So we don't want to put more money into Twitch than we're getting out. So a lot of the times when we get a payout from Twitch for like a couple $100, we might put that back to better the stream in some sort of way. But we're trying to make it so we don't spend more money going. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's that's a pretty solid business
But I do
model.
feel like the branding is so good. Like, you definitely, if there's any stream I've seen of my friends, I feel like you're the one that I could see like using your branding to like sell stuff. Like, I think I can imagine Grungy Dumpling shirts and Grungy Dumpling stickers and all that kind of stuff.
I really want like a pocket tee with 2 little dumplings like hanging out of it, like from the inside.
Hell yeah.
That would be so fucking cool.
You know what I mean? That would be so cute.
Soon.
Yeah. Yeah, just stay tuned, everyone, for the dumpling merch.
Yeah. No, that's great. Well, I mean, going back to the Japan thing. So, do you find that living in Japan, your time there, is it kind of shaped the identity of the stream at all?
So, I think one of the things that kind of ended up happening was we started streaming because we had a lot of free time because of the pandemic. Right. And I think that a lot of people are starting to, give streaming a try on Twitch because of the pandemic. It's like, well, I'm at home for, 4 months now. Great. What do we do? So like podcasts, streaming, fucking YouTube videos and stuff like that. And so the thing is that like, I think that one of the cool things about our stream is that like we are foreign people streaming in Japan, and so we're able to actually find other foreigners who are streaming from Japan, and we have a small community of streamers who are foreign, living in Japan and streaming from Japan. We've got like our buddy Agus Kun JP. He's amazing. He's a Spanish guy. We've got Ramen McDad, who is a guy who lives in Tokyo. He's an Australian guy who lives in Tokyo. He's the funniest dude. And so I'm trying to build like a high like a Breath of the Wild style compendium of like all of the foreigner streamers in Japan.
That's great.
You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like it doesn't shape our content that much, except for the fact that a lot of the times people in chat will ask us questions about our lives in Japan and about our jobs as English teachers here and such and stuff like that.
So, working as an English teacher who's also a live streamer, have any of your students wandered into your stream yet?
When we started, one of my students wandered into our stream, but I think that he's the type of kid who really likes watching like PUBG. And so like he comes onto our stream and we're playing like Luigi's Mansion or something, and he's like, cool, okay, I'll see you guys later. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that, yeah, there was one time when one of my students joined, and like he's a really cool kid, and so like I wasn't bothered by it at all. He heard me saying a lot of bad words, which I think was like, whoa, Clinton Sensei says like all this bad stuff, and I was like, yeah, shut up, don't tell your friends. But yeah, like only one student so far, but I worry because our stream is getting bigger a little. Wait up. Our stream's still we hit 300 followers today. So like it's
growing.
Slowly but surely, growing, and I'm afraid that like if any of my students are on Twitch, they might find us. The thing is that like I live out in the countryside, and you'd be surprised how many kids in this area literally have never heard of Netflix.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. A lot of my students just have I'm like, oh yeah, no, I've been watching this show on Netflix. They're like, Netflix. I'm like, yeah, no, you don't. They're like, no, I shit on night. I'm like, okay, well, that's cool too. And
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
It's shocking that, but like the thing is like there are a lot of kids who are like very in tune and very in touch with like
PUBG.
Social media culture, but one like PUBG.
Yeah.
But the one thing that that I think can be said is that the Japanese as a society is very, very reserved about having any social media presence at all. Further into that, without diving too deep into a little bit of like the overworking situation here, my students, they don't have time to watch any TV or movies.
Like because of their workload or something?
Yeah, because they're
Too much
homework.
Wow.
Too much homework, too much schoolwork.
Oh, wow.
They
Ease up on those kids, Clint.
Oh, dude, I don't give my kids any homework. I
I don't want to grade
kids...
this. I don't want to grade this. I got Twitching to do. Like, come on.
Yeah,
guys.
I try to go easy on my kids because I don't want them to have any more homework than they already have. And it's not just homework; it's homework and cram school. They go to school at 8 a.m. Like they're at school at 8 a.m. in the morning, but a lot of them show up at like 7:30 to start studying. And then they have club activities all the way until around 6 p.m. And then they'll go from 6 p.m. club activity, so school's from like 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Then they'll leave, go to a cram school where they study extra hard from, anywhere from 7 to sometimes 11 o'clock. Then they'll go home and study until 1 in the morning and do it all over again.
The fuck?
Oh, man. What age level are you teaching?
High school students.
Like, what is the goal? Like, are they trying to get to like, I don't know.
Good universities. It's university. Yeah, it's university entrance exams. And the thing is I think it's just a difference in the way that we handle it in America. Okay, so like in America, you can fuck off in high school and you get a second chance if you want to like I got terrible grades in high school.
Yeah, that's what I did.
And then I went to community college for a couple years, and I was like, okay, I gotta buckle down and do my shit. And I got like straight A's in community college and went to UCLA, right? And the thing is here in Japan, high school is where things get really intense. So you have like a really intense curriculum, you've got really intense workload, really intense like studies, and then if you are able to pull it off and get into a good university like Tokyo University, you get to fuck off and just like relax and breeze through university.
That's so interesting.
The hard part here is getting into a good university. Once you do, like from what I've heard from other educators and other teachers and professors and stuff, you get into a good university, the hard work is over. Whereas in America, you can kind of breeze by, and then you get into a university, and when you're an adult, the hard work begins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just a difference, which is why if you like look up some of the best universities in the world, like lists of like world rankings of best universities,
Yeah.
Wow.
Japanese
so much about
universities
Japan.
are never going to be high on the list.
But I feel like I want to learn more about you.
Me?
A little bit. Yeah.
Oh.
But I also want to learn more about Japan. So this is kind of going.
Yeah,
I'm
I
trying to
mean-
think how to guide this conversation. Where,
I'll leave it very, very briefly at this.
Sure.
When you live in America, you have an image of what Japan is. Right?
Right.
You have an image in your mind of what Japan is. And when you travel in Japan, you can have that image fulfilled by traveling to all of these places that fulfill this image. And then when you live here, you realize that it's actually very different. And that's, for better or for worse, there are things that you will love truly deeply in your heart. You're like, I never want to live in a different place. And then there are times when it can be very frustrating.
yeah.
And I think that's right, for better or for worse, that's how I can sum all of this up. You know what I mean? That's roughly what I'm talking about, is like just the waves of culture shock that come from living in a foreign country, you know? Comes in waves, and but I love it here. I really do. I don't want it to sound like I fucking hate it here.
Doesn't sound
I
like
love
that
this
at all.
place.
No.
I mean, it sounds like you
You've
live
been there for
somewhere,
multiple years.
you know?
So
Like,
Yeah.
you really hated it. You know.
If I hated it, I'd be gone.
Yeah, I think it's good that you see negatives of places too. Like if you thought there's no real place anywhere on the planet that's just all perfection or it's all positive. There's going to be negatives in literally any place. So I think it's good that you see those negatives and be willing to talk about them openly.
And that's what I try to do, is like I try and turn any of the experiences that I have here that aren't positive. I try to turn them into talking points for me to talk with my English students and like have discussions in class. Like, you know, this thing happened. Let's talk about it. Let's see how we could. And so like I'll try and turn these into positives, right? Like as much as some of these things can kind of wear down at me a little bit over time, I try and like sit down with my students and talk about like, hey, let's talk about making everyone feel welcome no matter where they go, you know, and like we try and talk about them in like a positive light and stuff like that, and turn them into like learning experiences for everyone, right? And also they have a lot to teach me. They'll be like, you know, maybe it has something to do with feeling uneasy about speaking English or something like that. And it's like, okay, that's a perspective that I didn't think of. So we learn a lot from each other, and it's really interesting. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like you use any of these experiences to maybe bring into your channel, or do you find that you kind of uses maybe lessons as a way to kind of I don't know, do you ever talk about these things on your channel?
If there are ever times when we're having a hard time, we just kind of we'll message the Discord and be like, hey, tonight's kind of a rough night, we're not going to stream.
Okay.
Because like one of the things that we don't want to do on our stream is to start streaming and then just start like, you know, letting loose all these negative vibes, right? Like we try to keep our stream like light and fun, and try to keep it like pretty lighthearted. And so like if for example we're having any sort of like issues, or we're feeling kind of crummy, or we're, you know, going through like some of the dips in culture shock, we might just call off a stream. You know, it's better to call off the stream than to sort of inundate our viewers with like our stress. Like it's not our viewers' responsibility to accept our venting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're here to watch us play games and enjoy themselves. They're not here to watch us go like, oh man, this was so frustrating the other day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So
Do you think that makes Twitch a really interesting new platform though? Like that you not the fact that you, but like the fact that you kind of have to decide those kind of things before going into it. Like is it becoming this interesting new forms of entertainment where like that you have to decide for yourself, am I willing to do this today? And you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a lot. There's a lot more feeling of like obligation in Twitch because like we've got like a stream schedule, right? And people expect us to be on at certain times and to start our stream at certain times and end at certain times on certain days. And so like there's a little bit more of an obligation aspect to it, which is why I think like I think one of the hard things is like we also have a Discord server where all the people come and chat and all this stuff and talk to each other. And if you're a YouTuber and you stop posting videos, you might have people go into the comments and be like, hey, where'd you go? But there are all these people that watch us live like 3 or 4 times a week. And if we just disappear, you know, like people are like they message us directly.
Wow.
And like, hey, are you not streaming tonight? And it's like, right. Okay. Yeah, it's really like it makes us feel loved. There's more of a feeling of obligation, which is why it feels like different than other platforms in that regard, I think. You feel more connected to the people that you're creating content for than I felt doing things on YouTube and stuff like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
These are people that talk with you in chat. They're people that are there watching you live playing games and chatting with you in real time. So you start to actually build more of a rapport, and you start to know these people a little bit better than you do your demographic on YouTube.
Yeah. Do you
because of that instant
yeah,
feedback.
exactly.
Yeah. Then do you find that is this in some ways going to take over from YouTube, or do you think that YouTube's still going to be a major platform, but it's just going to be a new form of entertainment? Do you see any kind of shift?
That's a really hard question. I think that so there are like millions of streamers on Twitch, I think. And like live streaming, there are becoming more platforms and stuff. I think one of the things, if it does become more popular than YouTube, it's just because it's I think that YouTube, having been around for like almost 2 decades at this point, like you know, it's saturated to a degree where you can both find anything on YouTube and nothing at all on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I think that you know what I mean? Like I think that when you're looking to discover something, to discover content creators, it's much easier to find something you might enjoy on Twitch, given like Twitch algorithms and given like, you know, things like that. Like I think that their algorithms are really sophisticated on Twitch. I don't know how they work, but like they are always suggesting, like they're always finding foreigners who live in Japan and stream from Japan and recommending them to me. And I'm like, how did you do this? Like they found a foreign couple living and streaming from Japan, just like Lindsay and myself. And I was like,
whoa.
I was like, what? Like that is uncanny.
That's a little creepy, but also kind of impressive.
Yeah. And so like, I think that I'm not sure it'll ever take over from YouTube, but I know that like Twitch is becoming a more prominent player. Yeah. And I think that YouTube is, over time, it's just going to become more and more of like a garbage heap of just a content dump. Like just millions of videos a day, just a content dump. Yeah. Whereas like that doesn't happen on Twitch, because after a week,
it's much more of a niche.
Yeah, after a week or two, all of your, you know, after a week or two, your past broadcasts are erased. It's just your channel, right? You know, and I don't know. I'm not sure what'll happen.
I thought that maybe Twitch had like this type of connection that YouTube doesn't have. Like if I think that's what a lot of people kind of gravitate towards, like, oh, this is a step forward now. Like these people that we love to watch, now we can talk to them. Now we can create a community of people who like to watch this one streamer or these streamers together, and then they just kind of create companionship in that too. And that's something that I think Twitch has over YouTube for sure. Like I don't know, like with the PewDiePie fans, it was just fans, and then now whoever's streaming on Twitch, they have their fans who are on the Discord as well, just talking to one another. And
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, you see a lot of YouTubers even moving over to Twitch, you know, like because for that reason specifically, you know, like a lot of fans want more of a connection with the like the YouTubers and the content creators that they enjoy, right? So if they can get into a Discord server and be chatting with all these people, and it's the official Discord server of, you know, for example, like Markiplier, then you know, it's their one, and then they get to watch Markiplier live, for example, they are one step closer to having like an actual, you know, relationship or friendship with that content creator, you know, whereas YouTube is starting to me to feel more and more and more outdated.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100% agree.
You're seeing them trying to fight back the storm a little bit, because they are starting to do live. There's a live function. Like I know,
I mean, they've had live function,
but I mean,
for
like
years.
you see them, I think, trying to make it better and closer to Twitch now, because I think they feel that pressure. And I think they're actually technically like signing artists to stay back on YouTube, just because they know that if we can't do this, then they're gonna leave. Like people like the one I talked about a long time ago, like Dashi, or like I think PewDiePie is probably one of them, because I don't know if he's on Twitch, or like there's one girl named like Valkyrie. But like there are these different gamers who I think they're literally signing so they could like hold on, because I think they feel that pressure from Twitch, you know, slowly taking over.
Yeah, I do think that there are like two main factors that are keeping Twitch from like actually eclipsing YouTube anytime soon, which is that Twitch has a very narrow like tunnel of like what kind of content has been designed for that platform. So like really what you can do is like, you know, hangout stuff and video game, and like that's what live streaming caters to. But then YouTube still gives like that, it's still that place for edited content, like curated content, like videos on demand. The second thing is that Twitch's moderation is horrible, and like this is something that I've been seeing in the past couple of years, is like they keep shooting themselves in the foot. And like they've been losing really big streamers to other streaming platforms that aren't YouTube actually. And so like you're seeing like the live stream, I guess like front of these different platforms being spread shot because Twitch hasn't been able to keep it together in their in their like moderation standards, because it's just all over the place. It's like some people will get banned for like minor infractions, and then other people will get away with like showing porn, and it's like these like huge no, it's kind of it's like the Wild West, because like as Twitch becomes more popular, people flock to the platform, and it's just like it's the Wild West on Twitch but like they even just like last month, I think at the beginning of the year, they like released a whole new like rules and codes of conduct and all this stuff, and are starting to do like mass like mass blockings and like not like content purges, but like profile purges for like people who are breaking rules and stuff, to try to make sure it's a safe place. And while like I I think what is kind of interesting to watch with Twitch is like they're going through the same growing pains that YouTube went through in like the mid 2000s, but it's like happening so much faster, because like YouTube started out was like this Wild West for so long, and then Twitch came about and there's that like mass exodus onto Twitch, and so they just saw that like immediate boom.
Yeah.
It's like the boom town of the internet.
Yeah.
And now like they're just trying to like grab all the pieces together, and like things are eventually falling through.
I would say they're trying to restore order or trying to create law and order or something, you know what I mean? Like, like we're the sheriffs around here.
They're trying really hard to not let it get out of control when they just should probably, like, I mean, there's some nutso stuff on Twitch.
And it's so much harder to keep up with. I think live streaming is interesting too, because it's like based off of copyrighted materials, right? Like the bread and butter of live streaming is like playing someone else's video games, listening to other people's music, and it's like that was, like when you just make a platform like this and you put it out to the world, it's like there's no consequences with it, but they're like big enough that they're now having to face the consequences of having a platform based on copyrighted material. And then people are getting angry with them for trying to like backstep because like they open Pandora's box, and like once it's open, nobody wants it closed.
They're like
again.
trying to backstep with all the music copyright stuff right now too. Like they just did this huge campaign to try and make it so you're not playing any copywritten music, and so they're even going into people's past streams, like past broadcasts, and marking them as like copyright claimed. And the thing is, it's like, I don't know exactly how it works, but it's like a similar thing to like a 3-strike rule type thing. And where like, if you break the rules 3 times, you're like, banned from the platform or something like that. But like, there are all these people on there whose like entire stream revolves around that. Like their whole vibes revolve around them playing, I don't know, for example, like Pokemon while listening to dubstep, or like, you know what I mean? Like, and so like suddenly they have to rethink how they're going to present their streams to their fan base because Twitch said, you can't play that music anymore. Sorry. And, and it's hard to know where the lines need to be drawn, but Twitch is like trying so hard to figure it out. I imagine at the offices they're just like freaking out all the time. They're just like, Jesus, like
they're running with like things on fire, and they're just like,
just like, help.
Then someone else runs by with something on fire. Just everyone's running around with things on fire. Well, it's still an interesting platform to see where it kind of goes from here, because I do think it
absolutely
has a lot of promise, and I do think it is the next kind of form of interactive kind of entertainment in some way.
It is loads of fun to interact. I mean, when you're streaming too, Alex, it's just fun to talk at you.
Yeah, it's fun to be part of that. Like, it's fun when you guys, when I'm alone, it's weird. Like, I had one guy on there the other day, and I was like alone, and he was like, I'm like, I don't know if this is like a real person or not, and it started to like weird me out. He was like, he's like, no,
It's
really.
just
It was like
Daryl
me
near
and
the
Daryl
room.
and like this rando person, and like this rando person was like, oh, where do you live? I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what? I was like,
dude, yeah.
and I was just like,
Dark
okay,
Twitch.
I'm just gonna like let this go, I guess. And I just said the
Yeah.
U.S. I said the U.S. like
America.
Way to keep it general.
One of the 2 Americas.
One of them, yeah.
North or South America. It's one of them. Take your pick.
Yeah, come find me in one of those. But please don't find me.
Please don't come
So
find me.
it's a weird platform in that way.
Yeah.
But also I think it can be really awesome too, like when it's your friends or new people who just want to talk.
Yeah.
And kind of join in.
You get a lot of really cool people with a lot of really cool vibes that like you get to feel like you're kind of buddies with people that you've never met before. But I also understand that there are times when people will come in and completely wreck the vibe in one single thing that they say or one single thing that they do, and they just wreck the vibe. And it's like there are trolls on every website, and Twitch is not immune to internet trolls.
Yeah, it's a live
Definitely.
comment section. There's like anyone
Yeah.
who's ruined a video with a shitty comment, you're like, oh shit, but now it's happening live. Let's see how you
Yeah.
deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a modders?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
moderators?
I've got a handful of moderators. It can be hard when like I'm doing a live stream and there are and like none of the mods are able to join. And I'm like trying to do it while like
Yeah,
it's tough. It's tough. But yeah, no, for the most part, we don't have any issues. The only issues we've ever come across with moderation. So my lovely partner and resident bicon, hence the bi flag in the background, Lindsay, is a like, she's a beautiful blonde girl, you know, and so we occasionally get people who can be a little creepy.
Oh man.
And so that can be rough. That can be really rough. We literally, like, we had to, this guy came in and followed us. We're like, oh, hey man, like, thanks for the follow, like, welcome in, you know, like, how's it going? And first thing that he said was, hey, how big a donation do I need to give you to, you know, sleep with your girlfriend? And I was like,
man.
Tight.
okay, so mods, you want to, like, chop, let's get this guy out of here. Like, and it's like, dude, what?
Yeah.
Like,
It's so sad.
it's
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Everywhere you
such
go,
a-
they
yeah.
will be there.
yeah, internet trolls, like,
Yep.
Twitch is not immune to the trolls. Twitch is not immune to bots that come in and say, like, want to become famous? Check out this link. And you're like, okay. Me?
I want to become
Oh,
famous.
dude.
That's
my
why I'm
dreams. Dude, hell yeah, man. You know? But
Yeah.
all in all, like, what I've found is that I enjoy Twitch a lot more than I enjoy YouTube. I struggle to keep up. Like, I've got a Japan YouTube channel that I'm trying to keep up with that actually is gaining a little bit of momentum because I'm reaching a really niche audience, because I do traditional Japanese archery. I do Kyudo.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and so I have a Japan YouTube channel that focuses on Kyudo. So, like, I've noticed that I struggle to keep up with that YouTube channel because I enjoy working on my Twitch channel so much more.
Yeah.
I enjoy improving my Twitch channel, making emotes, making overlays, making sound commands, all this stuff. And I, like, enjoy making the live experience better so much more than I enjoy sitting at my desk editing a YouTube video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what I could say about it, you know?
Yeah. There is something, I think that, because on YouTube, it's just like, here's a video that I maybe did a few edits on or something, and that's kind of fun. But it's all kind of been done before, where I feel like Twitch is your personal brand and your kind of fun way of being you. And I think that's what kind of makes it such an interesting platform. It's like your ability to kind of express yourself in your way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So do you have one? I don't know if you were going to say something.
No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna. I feel like I'm hearing Moses in the back of my head saying, like, wrap it up or something. So,
one more question, Clan, which I feel like we never got to, but why Nintendo exclusively?
Okay. Growing up, it's, like, kind of always been Nintendo for me and my family, for me and my brothers, I think. So, like, I guess the thing is like, when I was growing up, it was before I was born, my oldest brother Clay, he had the regular Nintendo, and then 3 years later, the middle child Austin was born, and he had the Super Nintendo, and then 3 years later, I was born, and I had the N64, and
sick.
Yes.
and so, like, we've always been a Nintendo family, right? It's either Nintendo or PlayStation, and for me, like, I just, what I can say about Nintendo consistently every time is, there's even, like, an industry term for it, which is Nintendo polish, right? Nintendo consistently makes products that are so polished and so detailed that, like, it really does feel kind of unparalleled. Like, it makes every other game feel even just a little bit rushed, you know, like, and I think a cool way to put this is, like, I'm not here to shit on Skyrim. Everyone loves Skyrim, right? Everyone enjoys Skyrim because it's kind of awesome, right? But that game in so many places is kind of just a little bit broken, right? Like, it's just, like, the NPCs are a little broken. the fighting is kind of a little broken. Everything's a little broken, right? And everyone loves that game. And then you play a game like Breath of the Wild, where everything works so perfectly as it's intended to, and there's so many details involved in that game, and none of it's broken. And you're like, wow, this feels so good. Like, and like that Nintendo polish extends to like random little details. Like if you're playing Luigi's Mansion 3 and you use your poltergust vacuum on Gooigi, your goopy side character, he will kind of wobble a little bit, and like to make it's like all of these little tiny pristine details that go into it that they think of that make the games like immersive experiences that I've never really felt like I got that polish from other games. It always, and that's a me personal preference sort of thing. I've always just felt like that Nintendo polish makes it so I feel like I can just be completely enveloped in the worlds that they create a little bit better than I've ever been able to with like any PlayStation games, anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think like the perfect example that I can think of like the Nintendo polish is the museum in Animal Crossing New Horizons, where it's like you walk through that museum and it's like so meticulously crafted to be a believable like modern museum, and like they didn't have to do that.
They went as far when they introduced the arts museum with all the famous works of art. They wanted to get the Statue of David, right? A model of the Statue of David. And they ran into a lot of like resistance, because it's like, well, the Statue of David has a penis and this is a kid's game. And the thing is what they did at Nintendo was said, well, the main mechanic of the art museum is to decipher whether or not the work of art is real or fake. So if you make us use anything that is anything but 100% authentic, it breaks the game. And then they let them move forward with it.
Wow.
They're like, okay, fine, David can have a dick. Like
That's genius. That's so good.
And that's the genius of Nintendo polish. You know what I mean? Like, there are no games more mechanically perfect than a good Mario game.
For sure. No, that's awesome. That's good to hear.
All right.
And very true about Nintendo. Well, I guess then just to wrap things up, is there any final thoughts, advice for any new streamers? Just any final wrapping up type of things that you want to say?
I think that's really hard. Advice for new streamers. I wish if I were like a super successful streamer, maybe.
I mean, even without success,
I guess like one thing is
300 followers, Clint.
It's not nothing. I know it's not nothing.
Yeah.
I think like something that I could say for new streamers is that like a lot of people will get onto the platform of Twitch and think that it's just simply playing games with viewers, right? And I think where you end up where those streams struggle to take off, because nobody wants to watch someone sit silently and play a game and react occasionally, right? I think one of the big things about Twitch is that the successful streams are the ones where you're putting on a show. And you are a performer, and your Twitch channel is interactive in a way. Like, Twitch is not simply just playing a game with your buddy, right? It's not just sitting on a couch and playing a game with your buddy. You're putting on a show for people who like your show, and just like any other television program that has a schedule that's on at 7 p.m. Central every Friday, you have a schedule that you're sticking to because you're there to put on a show and to be interactive. And I feel like one of the biggest pitfalls that I see from channels that don't grow are simply people who just like, oh yeah, I want to try streaming, and then they'll play games and just be on stream playing games. It's the equivalent of like streaming yourself sleeping, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think like what Lindsay and I try to do is we try to have conversations with our viewers about things that are going on in our lives. We try and talk about things that they like. We try and talk to them, not at them. We try and have conversations, and we try and make it as interactive as possible, where we bring up topics like we stream under the LGBTQIA tag because Lindsay's bi, and so we talk a lot about like bi issues sometimes, like what it is for Lindsay to be bisexual in this world and stuff. Like we talk about all sorts of things, and we have a show similar to the way that you guys have this podcast, you know, like this is, you know what I mean? And there's a big difference between putting on a show and just playing games.
Yeah. No, that's really good advice. Definitely. I mean, I think people have to know that they are the show when they go on Twitch. And it's their personal thing that they're putting on. It's way different than any other kind of interactive entertainment. And you have to be ready for it. Well, I think on that then, that's some good advice, Clint. I think we should wrap it up. It was a great conversation about living in Japan, living in a foreign country, and just in general, Twitch and probably the future about Twitch, at least what we all think. So then, let's wrap it up. Thank you everyone for watching, listening, whatever you're doing, however you're doing this thing. Even you listening to another episode of One for Safety. My name is Alex Dunn. Again, I am joined by Leatrice Ching, Phillip Long, Victor Moses Navarro, and again, Clint Brager from Grungy Dumplings. So please check out his channel if you haven't. I know we shouted him out a few weeks ago. Please check them out. They're really fun to watch, and you should follow them and keep supporting them. And keep growing that past 300 followers. And if you haven't started doing anything on our show, please check out our Discord. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You're probably listening that way right now, or on YouTube. Also, you can check out the Insta, just One for Safety. Please join in the discussion, and we would love to hear any topic discussions that you'd want us to talk about. And just join in any kind of discussions about, whether it's about Twitch or any other thing that we talk about. So thanks again, Clint. And this has been One for Safety, signing off.